welcome to the podcast. This is Magnable Podcast. This is our first video, so happy that you guys can join. So like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, and yeah, I appreciate y'all for being on here. We got two of my closest friends, Makai Slaughter and Jaden Sheffy. My name's Dylan Usoro, and I'll let my guys introduce themselves, and then we'll jump into it.
Hi, Makai. How are you, man?
Oh, sure. I started. As Dylan said, I'm Makai. Um, I'm in college. I love talking sports, just like the other two here. Um, I believe I have the best takes. Can't convince me otherwise. Um, but yeah,
We'll
we'll
find
have a good
out.
time. Talk sports for sure. So,
Jaden.
Jaden Sheffy. Anything sports related, I'm definitely into. But baseball, basketball, football are my favorites. I'm super excited to be a part of this. I'm definitely looking forward to diving into college football as football's just around the corner. As I always say, once football's here, the summer's over. Summer's over, fellas. So fall is officially here. And on the side note of what Makai was saying, I don't think he always has the best takes, but that boy needs to be a lawyer. That's all I need to say.
That's good. That's good. Well, I appreciate the intros. I'm Dylan Usoro, um, former football player, and I'm a football coach right now at Woodinville High School. So same thing as these guys. Sports is second nature, and I'm looking forward to talking and debating with these guys day in and day out. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So. College football is about to start this week, even though it's just preseason week 0. We're going to have one top 25 ranking game between Iowa State and Kansas State. We'll get into that. But first, we're going to have a discussion on hot takes for the year. We're going to our top 15 power rankings preseason, as well as dark horses for the year. So let's jump into it. Makai, you can start with your hot take for 2025.
all right. So I have a few hot takes, but I'll just give one. I think my biggest one I will say is by the end of the season, Bryce Underwood will be a top 10 quarterback in college football. Um, I love what I see so far, especially him going to high school and even in the spring game looked really good. I think it's going to be very hard to find 10 quarterbacks by the end of the season that are better than him. I think there's a good chance that Ohio State, Michigan will be a winner goes to the Big Ten championship. So I'm really high on Bryce Underwood. I think he's really good, very talented, big, strong, fast, and has a crazy arm for that size and his ability as a dual threat. So yeah, that's probably my biggest hot take.
It's a good one. Yeah, I think Michigan after the year they have, and they that was one of their quarterback play. So it'll be fascinating to see what Bryce can do this year. Jaden, you got a hot take for us?
Hot take for the college football season. For me, I'm going to go more team focused. I don't think LSU is going to have that great of a year as far as like Brian Kelly's expectations are concerned. And unfortunately for him, ends up getting cut by the end of the season. That's my hot take.
Okay.
It's possible.
I do agree with you that that coach at LSU, he needs to have a good season, or else it's not going to be a good thing. He's going to be in the hot seat by the end of the season. I got a pretty hot take. We'll see what you guys think about it. I got the Utah Utes bouncing back from the year they had last year, and they will be a top 15 team by the end of the season and compete with ASU for the Big 12 title. That's my hot take for 2025.
I like Utah, but I like
Okay.
Utah.
I think the Big 12 is very competitive, so
Very
I think Colorado's going to be good. BYU's going to be good again. And then you've got Tech, Iowa State. I think there's a lot. So
It's a lot.
we'll
It's
see.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
All
Kansas
right.
State, by the way.
Kansas State can't Can't forget about them and what Avery Johnson did last year from his freshman season. He had a good sophomore campaign, and I think he can just keep building on it with his junior season. But with that being said, and we'll be getting into this a little bit later, but they got a tough first matchup against Iowa State out in Ireland across seas. So that'll be interesting to discuss in a little bit. All right. Well, our next topic is going to be our power rankings, top 15. So, Jaden, do you want to we'll go 15 to 10 and then take turns on that. Then we'll go 10 to 5 or 10 to 6 and then 5 to 1 and go from there. So, Jaden, do you want to give us your top 15 rankings, 15 through 10?
All right, let's do it. Starting with number 15, we've got Florida. That's currently how it's set up in the AP. Again, I think this is a prove it year for their coach. I really love DJ. I think he's got a really, really good arm. Obviously, as we saw glimpses of that last year. He's going to be a very, very good quarterback if he can just stay healthy. I think that's his biggest thing for this season, his health. But I've got them at 15. Number 14, I've got Michigan. Again, similar to the AP. Obviously, they just had all of those sanctions against them. I think they'll be fine talent-wise. Recruiting's not going to take a dip. They'll continue to play football at a very high level. Number 13, I actually got this team jumped up a little bit based off the AP. I've got Kansas State at 13. As we alluded to, their quarterback play in Avery Johnson, phenomenal quarterback. I think he's obviously be a top quarterback in the Big 12 and can really give Kansas State that push that they've been looking for in the last few years, especially competing, hopefully, not for just a Big 12 championship, but for a spot in the CFP. They gotta finish games out this year. That's going to be their thing. Number 12, I've got South Carolina. Again, quarterback play. I think at the college level, if you have a really good quarterback, it can hide a lot of things on your team. SEC, as we know, is a gauntlet of a schedule. So they're really going to have to compete hard and finish out games as well. It's really going to come down to taking care of the football, and also it's going to come down to coaching, especially down the stretch. And they haven't really been clicking on both of those things in recent years. But love their quarterback, so we'll see what they can do. At 11, I have Miami. Their offensive line and defensive line will continue to be solid. I don't think ACC is that great of football outside of Miami and Clemson. So I think they'll have a good season as well. They have an experienced QB. I think he'll definitely have a rebound year from last year and exceed expectations from his performance last year at Georgia. Although, yes, he was hurt, but I think he'll have a good year there. And last but not least, number 10, I've got Arizona State. They lost some key guys, but they're also bringing some key returners back as well. I really love their coach. I think he's definitely a player's coach, and their quarterback is going to continue to do his thing. And Sam Leavitt, that kid can ball. So I think they will also have a very good year and a very competitive Big 12 conference. So that is my 10 to 15.
Yeah. I guess I'll go give my 15 through 10. 15, I have Kansas State. Kind of like Jaden alluded to, Avery Johnson, dog. I think also too, I'm high on Dylan Edwards. Had a very good freshman year at Colorado. Kind of flamed out towards the end of the season, and then last year he just was behind DJ Giddens, who was a all Big 12 back. But this year he's going to be the primary back, primary focus. So they're going to find ways to get the ball in his hands, and he's very, very explosive. So watch out for Dylan Edwards. Michigan, I have at 14. Like I alluded to, high on Bryce Underwood. I think Michigan could really work their way up in the rankings. Would not be surprised if Ohio State Michigan's winner goes to the Big Ten Championship. So yeah, I'm really, really high on Michigan. I think Michigan's going to be very good this year. Number 13, South Carolina. Think a very good roster overall. Love Dylan Stewart. Love Lenora Sellers. My only issue is I think it could be a little over-reliant on quarterback play, so that could scare me in some of those games where Lenore's can be turnover prone at times and can just be inconsistent with throwing the ball down the field, and that where it can be a little bit of a struggle. So my little caution on South Carolina. Number 12, Illinois. Very high on Illinois. I think they have the schedule to really compete for a Big Ten championship this year. They have experience. They have everybody coming back. They have the coaching. And at the end of the day, Brett Bielema in the Big Ten, he's going to have those guys ready, and they're going to play Big Ten football. And Luke Altmaier is a very good quarterback at Illinois, and I think they're going to have a great season. And I think that week when they play Ohio State at home, I think can be a very, very, very tough game for Ohio State to go in and come out unscathed. So yeah. At 11, I have LSU. Garrett Nussmeier, very good quarterback. They lost some guys, but Georgia's going to be good overall. I mean, LSU's going to be good overall. Harold Perkins should be healthy. So they should be, that'll seal up a lot of their issues that they had a little bit at linebacker last year. But LSU's going to be a good team. Um, yeah, we'll just see if Brian Kelly can get it done. This is just a huge season for him. He's got to at least make the playoff. I'm not gonna lie, especially after seeing what Notre Dame just did and him coming to LSU, and his reasoning was they didn't have the resources at Notre Dame, and now he's got the resources and he's performing worse than Notre Dame. It's just a bad look. Um, yeah, so that's my 15 through 11. Do you want me to go ahead and give the 10? You're
Yeah.
good. Okay, 10. Okay, yeah, 10. I have Florida. I think that's very just. I really do believe it. I'm a high believer in DJ Lagway. I think if he stays healthy, Florida's a playoff team for sure. Um, but that's a big if. Billy Napier, I have some questions to him as a coach, but excuse me, I think that Florida roster is just that good. I think that team is good enough to make a playoff if DJ Lagway is healthy, which is a big if, especially hearing about some of the nicks he's having during training camp, which is problematic, especially when you got to get through an SEC schedule. Um, so yeah, 10. I have Florida.
Awesome. I'll go ahead and give my 15 through 10. We can discuss it a little bit. At 15, I got Kansas State. Again, we talked about Avery Johnson. He's gonna be really good this year. Um, the reason why I don't have him higher is because in big games he can tend to turn the ball over. So hopefully going into his junior season he cleans that up a bit. Dylan Edwards, I hope he has a better season than last. But like we said, that first season he had with Colorado was really good. So I'm expecting a good season from him as well. At 14, I have Arizona State. I wanted to put them higher, but losing Cam Scatterboo, um, as we saw in that playoff game against Texas, he was literally the heart and soul of that team. And I think that's going to take a hit and bring them down a little bit. But I still think that the quarterback and wide receiver duo they have out there in the desert is going to be very effective in the Big 12. At 13, I got South Carolina. I think Sellers is going to be uh, a good quarterback for them this year. My biggest thing with them is schedule. They do miss Texas and Georgia on the schedule, which is a plus, but they still got to go through Clemson. So that's why I have them at 13. 12, Miami. Carson Beck coming over from Georgia. I think he will play a lot better, especially coming off an injury. Um, they do have Notre Dame game one, so that's going to be tough for them. But other than that, I feel like they have a pretty manageable schedule. And then I think Cristobal out there, he's got to start proving that he's a good coach with the games in big games. 11, I got Illinois. Like we talked about, they have a good quarterback in Altmaier. Great coaching. Their hardest game is going to be against Ohio State at home, and schedule is super favorable for them. They don't have Michigan on there. They don't have Penn State, and they don't have Oregon. So it looks like they will have a pretty good schedule in the Big Ten. That's pretty loaded. And then at number 10, I have Oregon, and I have two questions. When it comes to Oregon, the wide receivers and all the injuries that's been happening over the offseason, as well as quarterback play. We do not know what we're going to get from Dante Moore. But I think with the recruiting and everything else that's going on out there, that they will be all right. But still a lot of question marks, and they're going to have a tough schedule in the Big Ten, as we know. So that is my 15 through 10.
Interesting because Oregon for me was a little low at 10, but I understand why.
Yeah, I get it.
I think they'll still be a very good team. Um, and they always reload every year with the recruits. So
Yeah. I think Dan Lanning is starting to build that program to a point where it's like, yeah, they have injuries, but like that's a program. Like that's why I don't know too much about 10. I think 10's a bit low. Um, Also too, I get where people's high on Arizona State. I don't know if y'all realize I don't have Arizona State ranked in my top 15. They'll probably be my 16th
I
team.
noticed that.
I'm just not high on them from the standpoint like Cam Scatterbo meant a lot to that offense. I think a lot more than people would like to acknowledge, especially if you look at the game he didn't play last year. Offense looked pretty pedestrian against UCF. So that's my worry. I think that team was very over reliant on Cam Scatterbo, especially offensively. You look at the Texas game, like it's just a lot of games. They're over reliant on what Cam Scatterbo can do, and not just as a runner, but even as a receiver, and just the attention he draws just in general. That's why like Arizona State, I would not be shocked if they win 8 games. I would not be shocked because I think that team was very more over reliant on Cam Scatterbo than some people may want to admit. But I hope I'm wrong because I really do like Jordan Tyson on the outside, and Sam Levitt is a very solid quarterback. I'm high on Sam
He
Levitt,
is.
but I think we do underestimate how much Cam did mean to that roster, especially getting him through the tough times. So, uh,
This is my outlook on it. Arizona State, the Big 12 team, had a matchup in the trenches. Obviously, Cam Scatterboo was he turned into a different human in that game. He literally almost won them the game. That is true, but still, it takes 11 to play a football game, and they did match up with Texas on a big stage in the
no Tyson
trenches.
either.
No Jordan Tyson either, and I only think that quarterback out there is going to keep getting better as the season goes on. And like Jared said, if he has Tyson healthy, it's going to be he's going to have a lot easier time playing those other Big 12 teams than he did playing Texas on a big stage. So I do like Arizona State. One place I did disagree with you guys with is Florida. I have them. I don't have them in my top 15. Lagway's health is continued to be an issue in the offseason. And if you look at their schedule, it is ridiculous. They have Georgia and Texas at home. And then their away games are Miami, A&M, and LSU. And those are 5 games they can lose right there. So uh, I can't see Florida. I can't put them in my top 15.
Fair enough.
yeah, that is a tough schedule. I mean, the schedule's tough, but I mean,
Very tough.
I think they can come out and win 3 of those games. I would not be surprised. That's a good team. If
Against
Lagway is
Windsor,
healthy, if Lagway is healthy though, that's the
it's
big
a
thing.
big if.
Yeah, huge if.
I
Uh,
actually have LSU outside of my 15,
Not
believe it
even
or
mad
not.
at it. I'm not mad at it.
and you
I
have
have them.
LSU outside your 15?
I'm not mad at that.
I have I have them right at 16. Um, Last year, I'm sorry, guys. 4 losses ain't gonna cut it for me in the SEC with that type of recruiting and that type of traditional football school. Um, I mean, let's just look at the last couple years. LSU and Brian's Kelly's first year, 10-4, then 10-3, then 9-4.
Mm.
I don't know. So again, we've said it many times already. This is a prove it year.
It
They should
is.
have been much better over the last 2 seasons. At least at some point, they should have at least had 1 or 2 losses in one of those seasons and gone pretty far in the CFP. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, their first 3 games at Clemson, a cakewalk versus Louisiana Tech, and then versus Florida. That's their first 3.
It could be
So
one
we'll
and
see.
two.
Yeah, very well could. So that's going to be a great test to see Is Florida or LSU better for that game? We'll see.
Man, LSU come out 1-2 to start the season. They're going to be ready to get Brian Kelly out of there.
Is LSU at home or is it at?
No, Clemson's neutral site. I think that Florida games. Oh, that's on the road. Yeah, no, Florida's
No,
at home.
Florida's at
Florida's at
home
home.
for them.
Florida's at home. Florida's at home. I lied. Florida's at home.
Okay, I'm taking LSU in that game.
They should win. They should.
That's a game they should win.
better. And like we said, it's improved a year, and he's got his do or die on the coach. So I'm expecting him to have a good season, or he's done. Like his back is against
We're not beating Clemson.
But
Oh no.
oh, I didn't know.
I already said that game is gonna.
He gonna see
I think
stars
it's
all
gonna be.
game.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like 41-10, 41-17. Clemson's gonna murder them. I'm serious. I'm high on Clemson. Very high.
That's another thing. If they do get killed, I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
They better
very.
put up a fight that week 1.
Huh?
They better put up a fight that week 1 game.
I mean, I don't think they do,
I
but
think they'll put up a fight, but
no, I don't think it's close, man. That Clemson team is
I
good.
think they'll keep it close in the first half, and once that third quarter hits, it's gonna be wraps. Once that defense starts really just coming after them for
Yeah.
four quarters, it's not gonna be pretty for that offense. But Jaden, you did mention quarterbacks is something you value high in college football, and they have a top 5 quarterback in the nation. So I am a bit higher on LSU than you guys, but we will see. Let's move on to our 9 through 5, and go from there. So, Jaden, you want to start with your number 9 team in the country?
Yep, number 9 team is Illinois. I think they're going to be very good. We don't have to go any further on that. I think that's a very good team
You said who?
with a very manageable schedule. I'm sorry?
What team?
I have Illinois at 9.
Okay.
I think they have a very manageable schedule in the Big Ten. Number 8 for me is Alabama. This is also a prove it year for DeVore. I think having Grubb back is huge, and that offense is going to take a next step and be a lot better than they were last year. Number 7 for me, I have Oregon there at 7. These guys are going to reload. Yes, I play ball at UW, and I don't like the Ducks, but these guys ball every single year. They just reload, keep retooling. They always have an elite quarterback. It's not fun playing there. So they will continue to do very well this season. Once playoff comes around, we don't need to worry about them no more. So that's what I'll say with that. Number 6, I've got Georgia. Was not very impressed with the offense last year, especially in the playoff game. Notre Dame really took it to them. I think this is also a prove it year for the offense. For the quarterback, I believe he's going to be a sophomore. So at least he has a game under his belt on a very big stage, which is a good thing. But those receivers need to get better. So hopefully they have a better core this year. And last but not least, number 5, I have Notre Dame. A little worried about the quarterback play, losing a very strong leader and senior in Riley Leonard. So we'll see how that position looks. I also a little bit concerned, always losing a strong, well-versed defensive coordinator is tough. So I'm hoping the defense doesn't take a step back, but continues to apply the same intensity that they did last year under Golden. That is my 5 through 9.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. I'll get kicked
really good.
off with my 9. I have Miami at 9. I'm actually high on Miami. The more I look at that roster, good team. Honestly, a good team. I think Carson Beck's going to have a better year than what he showed at Georgia. He gets a lot of flack for that Georgia year, but at the end of the day, he didn't have the weapons on the outside, and the line was just super inconsistent throughout the year. And an inconsistent line in the SEC for a pocket passer, it can be hell. So yeah, I'm high on Miami at 9. I have Oregon at 8. I think you could really argue Oregon from 8 to 6. I think Oregon's going to be a good roster. Dan Lanning's starting to build that program to the fact where it's just they just reload, man. think that's going to be a very good ball club. Dante Moore at quarterback, I think he's going to be very good. And watch out for DeCorian Moore. Probably going to be a top 5 receiver at the end of this year. As a freshman, he is insane. He is very insane. But yeah, I like Oregon at 8. Alabama at 7. Very high on what they're going to be offensively. Ty Simpson is very, very good. Been in the system for 3 years. He's had a chance to learn and sit under um, and just learn and just soak up. And another thing that's not talked about is the fact that he won the QB battle at Alabama with Austin Mack coming over. Because let's be honest, the board wanted Austin Mack to start, but hey, Ty Simpson went out there and he took the job from him. So that shows Ty Simpson is a really good ball player. So I think Alabama's going to be very good. And Ryan Williams is just a dog, top 2 receiver in college. So number 6, Georgia. It's just more of a Kirby pick, to be quite honest. The roster isn't bad, but it's just a lot of question marks overall. Very young team, talented team, but young team nonetheless. But Kirby Smart's going to get those boys ready. Georgia's always going to be a tough out throughout the SEC as long as Kirby Smart's there and as long as he's continuously recruiting there. And Gunnar Stockton showed flashes of being good, especially in that SEC championship and even in times in the
He's
Notre
going
Dame
on.
game. Yeah, in Notre Dame, I didn't think he was that bad against Notre Dame neither at all. So I think as he continues to play and mature, he's just going to become better and better throughout as the season goes. So Georgia at 6, I think, is a safe land, and then 5, I have Notre Dame. Really, the only question I have for them is quarterback. I think they. This may sound crazy. I think they arguably have the best 1-2 quarterback, 1-2 running backs in the country. You can argue them over Penn State with Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love. Yeah, and their defense is going to be very good. And yeah, Notre Dame is going to be a very good, tough out. Just question at quarterback, man. I don't like what I'm hearing out of camp with CJ Carr struggling to win that battle. Um, but yeah, they can just get somewhat of solid quarterback play. I think they'll be back in the college football playoff. But that's my 5 through 9.
So I think we're all kind of the same mix.
Yeah.
So we may differ here and there, but it's all pretty close. Um, I'll start with my number 19. I got LSU, and why I have this high it comes down to quarterback play for me. And I think at the coaching position, it's a prove a year, and he's got to step up to the plate in big games. Um, I also like their schedule. They don't have Texas or Georgia on there, and the hardest game will be against Clemson game one. So they'll have a tough matchup off the bat, and from there, I think their schedule is manageable. At number 8, I got Michigan. They're always good in the trenches, especially on defense. They're sort of like Oregon and Ohio State, where they just retool every year, and I think they'll have good quarterback play compared to last year. So at number 8, I got Michigan. 7, I got Bama. Just like Jaden said, it's a prove year for DeBoer. I do love that Ryan Grove is coming back from the Seahawks, and I think Ryan Williams is going to be a top 2 candidate for Blitnikoff Award. So yeah, I think Bama's going to be a top 17. 6, I got Georgia. The 2 toughest opponents are at home, which would be Texas and Bama. It's a Kirby pick as well, like Makai said. I think they'll be good on defense and allow Gunnar Stockton to just build up his confidence over the year. 5, this is going to be a bit low compared to you guys, but at 5, I got Penn State. And it comes down to 2 things that I think we're all pretty high on when it comes to ranking teams is quarterback play and coaching. And over the years, I've seen 2 years of this where Drew Aller and the head coach at Penn State, they just tend to stink it up in big games, especially when it comes to third down and you got to have it. We saw it last year when everyone favored Penn State over Notre Dame. And yes, I know they got transfers at the receiver position, but just looking at their schedule, they have a few track games and some tough matchups. They got Oregon early, and they got Ohio State in the shoe, I believe. They got Nebraska. They got Iowa at Iowa. They got UCLA in California, and then they got Indiana. Now, So I think there's a possibility that they lose at least 2 of those games, just because in big games, those Drew Aller and the coach, I just can't trust them. But the roster screams of top 5 team overall. So that is my 9 through 5 thoughts, opinions.
Just the Penn State for me.
Penn
I
State.
think.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, it's a 5 compared to 2, but at the end of the day, I think that roster is nasty. I think they'll be a very good team, and I think if Aller, hopefully, as you get better each year, that's kind of the common hope for all athletes as you get better each season as you mature. Hopefully, he starts to deliver in some of those big games and those big moments. But my question mark kind of is more on James Franklin, more so than Drew Aller, because his coaching can be a little questionable in big games when he's playing against a top 10 team. So we'll see if that can finally be fixed. And to me, I know we talked about this before. I would call this a prove it year for him, but he needs to win something. Something, please. For the love of God, please win something. With all those
If they don't win
he's
the Big Ten,
you have to win something. That's just how I see it.
Yeah, I mean,
I see it as it's you go 11-1, you beat Ohio State, or you win the Big Ten. It's got to be one of those things that happen. And I'm sorry, if I look at my 4 teams I have above them, I'm not taking Penn State over any of those guys in a neutral site in a big game. I don't trust James Franklin against those other teams that are well coached. So
yeah, I mean, based on your criteria, I can understand why you have Penn State at 5. Because I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I have Penn State ranked over Ohio State in my rankings, but I think if they play right now, I'd probably take Ohio State. I just trust one, they're gonna have the 2 best players on the field. I ranked more just Penn State roster overall is just a better roster than Ohio State. Um, just experience and 2, there's just a lot of holes that Ohio State has. A little spoiler before my top 5, but yeah, I can understand the Penn State ranking. I'm not mad at it. Um, I just think, yeah, like Jaden said, that roster, when you look at it, it's just a very talented roster. I just
it
don't
is
see
loaded.
I just don't see 3 teams that are better than it, even with James Franklin. And yeah, I mean, there's cause applause for James Franklin, but one thing I do give him credit is he wins the games he needs to win. I don't think they lose to Indiana at home. I think if they can just get one of the Ohio State or Oregon games, they're going to be fine. I think if they lose both, they'll still be in the playoff. But um, yeah, like they're not going to lose to Indiana. They're not going to lose at Iowa. Like Penn State doesn't lose those games. So we'll see. It's really just winning those big games for them, but they can just get one of those. I think they will be just fine heading into the season. I think they'll probably be playing for a Big Ten championship. If they win one of those games.
So I got them at 5. They'll probably go 11-1, 10-2. So
Yeah.
all right, Jaden, you want to give us your top 4 teams?
Top 4. Top 4 for me starts with number 4, Ohio State. That team was just stacked last year, and they did lose a lot of key pieces. Obviously, yes, it was Ohio State, so they're going to reload, just like a lot of the top teams that we've discussed. There's a little bit to prove, I think, in some of the positions on the field, specifically D line. I think is going to be a position that's going to be entirely new, and then quarterback as well. I just think they'll continue to get better as the season goes along, but I'm not worried about them. Number 3, I got Clemson. I really like this team this year. Can't talk enough about what Dabo's done the last few years, especially going from the COVID season to now. He's really basically had to retool how he does recruiting, the NIL, everything, and he's definitely come out on top. And they looked really good last year against Texas too. They just didn't have enough to get it done. Really like this team though. Klubnik's the top 2 quarterback. He's going to be very, very good this year. And I think, just looking into the future, he will be the first QB off the board for next year's NFL draft. My number 2 team is Penn State. We've already discussed them. Very talented roster. Can James Franklin get it done? Can you please win something? That's the big question mark this year. And then number 1 is Texas. Arch Manning is obviously the headline of that team. I think he will actually live up to the hype. I think he's going to be very good. And obviously, Sark's going to have those boys ready to go. They need to close out big games. I know they do typically close out games, but they're a little too close. So they really need to be in positions to, when they should win a game, obviously win it, but don't take your foot off the gas. It's kind of my message for that team this year. I would like to see dominance out of this team, even in big games. So that's my top 4.
One question for you, Jay, before Makai goes. You said Klubnik's going to be the first quarterback off the board. Is that with Manning in the draft or not in the draft?
I don't think it matters.
Okay. Okay, then.
I hope he's a Pittsburgh Steeler. I'd tell you that, because goodness gracious.
Y'all need something out there.
Oh my gosh, we need something at quarterback. But yeah.
Let's see what Makai.
Yeah. All right, 4. I have Ohio State as well. Yeah, I just, man, I mean, Ohio State's gonna reload. I think this is a very different outlook from last time they won the national championship. I just remember from 2014, like people expected Ohio State to repeat, going back to 2015 because they had so much talent just coming back that next year. This is definitely the exact opposite. A lot of the experience left from that last year team. And with that, I just do have a lot more questions than answers with this Ohio State team. I think they'll be okay. But I do have a lot of questions, especially D line. I think even O line, I have a lot of questions. Because they did lose Donovan Jackson. But yeah, I just have a lot of questions with that team. But at the end of the day, every game they'll go into, they'll have the 2 best players on the field with Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs. So that definitely does mean something. And quarterback play, I think they'll be fine. Whoever is pulling the trigger there. When you have Jeremiah Love, Brandon Ennis is a dog. Ennis is gross. I'm telling y'all, Ennis is very, very good. Carnell Tate and Jeremiah remain talks, but Ennis is going to have a great year. And Mylan Graham can play too. So they have a plethora of receivers he has at his dispense, whoever the quarterback is. So, and Max
Hartline has been great over there.
Yeah, it's a program. Like the amount of receivers, it's crazy. And they're about to have arguably the best tight end in the country in Max Clare. So yeah, he has a lot of weapons at their disposal. So Ohio State will be just fine at 4. Penn State I have at 3. Yeah, honestly, if this roster was Ohio State or had the Ohio State on there, I'd probably have them ranked number 1. But yeah, it's just they don't, like Dylan said, they just don't get it done. And that's just my fear there with them not being able to get it done. James Franklin, he wins all the games he's supposed to win. He just doesn't win the games he's not supposed to win. And that is a problem if you're trying to win a national championship. So, yeah, I have Penn State at 3. Texas at 2. Yeah, I mean, this is a good roster. Like, it's a very good roster. Arch Manning, high on Arch Manning. I think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback coming into college football at the end of this year. So I think Texas safe to put them at 2. And my number 1 is Clemson. I'm high on Clemson. I think Dabo could have his parade this year. Let them win a national championship. He's not going to know how to act. So yeah, Clemson. That's a very good roster. Like that's a very good roster. And Cade Klubnik, yeah, he's the best quarterback in the country for sure. I think he's the best quarterback in the country. I love what I saw at Texas against Texas. That was a performance. Like it's very underrated. Nobody really talks about it, but he was tremendous. Like and yeah, Cade's a dog, man. He's a dog. So yeah, it's my 4.
I gave it to him. I wasn't very confident in him a year or 2 ago.
Me neither.
This guy terrible.
Yeah.
But then when I saw that Texas game, I was like, okay, he's got it.
He's got it. Even against SMU, he was very good. He was very good versus SMU.
Yeah. Every team last year in the playoffs wanted to have their best game against Texas. I noticed that. Yeah, I'll jump in. My number 14 is Notre Dame. I know we got questions at quarterback. I think they'll figure it out over a much easier schedule. Week 1's going to be a tough game, but I trust coaching, especially week 1. Jeremiah Love is going to be the best running back in the country, and that Notre Dame defense is legit. I think Clemson and Notre Dame are going to have the top 2 defenses in the nation. So that's why I got Notre Dame at number 4. Number 3, I got Ohio State. I know we talked about they lost a lot of pieces, but when you got the brand they got, you're just gonna keep getting 5-stars to replace and retool every year. You got the best player in the country in Jeremiah Smith, the best weapon in the country, and you got Caleb Love on the defensive end. So I think they'll be just fine. Coaching wise, they got a top 3 coach in college football right now. So I think Ohio State, even though they lost so many pieces, I don't think they'll win the Natty, but I think I'll take them over to win. And if it's a heads-up game against Penn State, I'm taking Ohio State still. Number 2, I got Clemson. I wanted to put them at 1, but I just think that in the ACC they're going to have a bit easier path, and the games that they have that they will win, they won't carry as much weight as a SEC team. Like we talked about, Cade Klubnik, he's the best quarterback in the country. I think same as Mackay, I won't be surprised if they win the whole thing. And Dabo is right laps on everybody. Schedule is very favorable for them. Week 1 they got a tough matchup. Other than that, they'll be just fine. And in the ACC, that defense is going to be the best defense in the country. And anyone that sees Clemson is going to be a top out. Number 1 team, same as Jaden, I got Texas, and it comes down to coaching with Sark, that offensive scheme, as well as Mr. Manning. I think just the name on the back of the jersey means a lot, and I think he's been waiting and he's ready to just take over college football. I think that defense will be legit. And schedule is favorable. They don't have them on there. They don't have LSU. So I think Texas, they're going to get through the SEC with no more than 1 loss, and I think in the playoffs they'll be favored over almost anybody. So yeah, those are my top 4 teams.
Yeah, I think.
Who's your national championship pick? Who's your champion?
I'm taking Clemson, even though I just put Texas at 1. I'm about to take Clemson.
I have them as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think my pick right now is Clemson. Even though my heart wants to take Ohio State, but it's Clemson.
I think it'll be Texas and Clemson if they don't see each other early.
Yeah.
But that game's gonna be brutal.
Yeah. Yeah, that Clemson team is yeah.
One thing I do like about Manning though is he plays with his legs as much as his arm. So if he gets a full season under his belt, who knows how much confidence he'll have by the end of the season.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Their schedule is very favorable. I'm just not looking at it. I mean, Georgia, all you have is really Georgia, Florida, and A&M and the SEC.
Yeah.
They don't have Alabama. They don't have LSU. They don't have wow, like it's very favorable.
They're gonna steamroll the SEC, and if they get out of there with 1 loss, they'll be the number 2 in the country. So that's why I have them.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, that Ohio State Texas game, loser is gonna, as long as they don't go out there and get embarrassed, like whoever loses that game isn't gonna be viewed in any worse light. Neither team. Like if Ohio State goes out,
they won't drop below 5.
Huh?
They won't drop below 5.
Yeah, no.
Either team.
I mean, if you're Ohio State, wow, you lose to Texas week 1. Like, okay.
What can you do about it?
Like, yeah, like, It just is what it
Especially
And
when
then
is.
you got
Texas
so many pieces. Go ahead.
Texas don't play anybody again until Florida 4 weeks
Yeah,
later.
Mm-hmm.
don't play nobody for a
Yeah,
whole month.
and that's why I think Texas will win week 1, and after that they
Yeah,
might lose to Georgia, but that's about it.
yeah. We'll
So
say at Florida's tough. I'm not gonna lie. At Florida, that's a trap
I
game. But
I'm not saying they're going to lose
I
this,
don't
but
think so. Right now.
I'm not saying they're going to lose this, but I feel like Kentucky does give really good teams a run for their money at home. So that could be an interesting game. I'm not saying they're going to lose, but it'll be a close one, I think, in the first half, and they'll run away with it.
Kentucky, yeah.
yeah, I think where it's placed in the schedule, I
Remember the
can
Georgia
agree.
game last year? They almost beat Georgia.
It does happen. That Kentucky, it's just random. Yeah, yeah. Arch throws a couple picks. Who knows? It's possible.
I would love to keep debating this, but for time's sake, we're gonna keep it rolling. Uh, got 2 more topics. We still got to talk about our dark horses, as well as um, it was Kansas State, Iowa State picks. So we'll start with our picks for the game, and then we'll end with our dark horses to close out the video. So, Jaden, I'll let you start. Uh, Kansas State, Iowa State, they're playing on the neutral site out in Ireland. And they did this last year. We know what happened with Georgia Tech playing Florida State. So let's hear your opinion
Peak.
on who's going to win this game. Both great teams, by the way.
I have Kansas State here. I think it's going to be a very competitive game, very similarly to last year's game overseas. I think it was a very good game. Obviously, it was an upset. No one saw that coming. Georgia Tech beating Florida State. I don't think it'll be in that similar fashion this year. I have Kansas State winning by about 5 or more points. I think it will be close throughout the game, but they pull away in the fourth quarter.
I can go next. I got Iowa State. Um, in these games, it comes down to coaching and turnovers, especially on a neutral site. Week 0, um, I got Iowa State due to their defense, and I think they will make less mistakes going into a Week 0 matchup in Ireland. So that is my pick. I think Avery Johnson. Uh, I like him at the quarterback position. I think he'll be a lot better than last year, but I think in this game, especially against a good Iowa State defense, he will make 1 or 2 turnovers during the game, and it's going to cost him.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean that's possible. I mean Avery Johnson is known to sometimes have a turnover issue, but I'm gonna go with Jaden on this side of Kansas State. Um, I believe on what they have going on over there. I think they start the season off strong. I think Kansas State, I think, can win the Big 12, and I think they understand that if they want to have a chance at that they're probably going to have to win this game. I think winner of that puts themselves in a good position to make a run at the Big 12 because Iowa State's going to be in the hunt too as well. But yeah, I think I take Kansas State. Trusting Avery Johnson. I'm really high on Dylan Edwards, man. Like I think Dylan Edwards can have a all Big 12 season. Like really high on Dylan Edwards if he gets the carries. But yeah, like I think that Kansas State team wins. I think Rocco Beck is good, very good. But I think he can be a little inconsistent throwing the ball at times, and I think he'll make a couple turnovers that will cost him the game. But I have Kansas State 31-20. Um, yeah, I think it's going to be a great game, though. Pretty solid game. Probably a one-score game in the fourth, but I think Kansas State puts a touchdown up and ends it. So
You said 31-20,
31-20.
and Jaden, what was your score?
25-20.
25-20. And I got Iowa State 27-24. So I think it'll be a very close game. So yeah, let's move on to dark horses to wrap up the night. In college, you lead off with your team that's going to surprise a lot of folks this year.
I'll start. Actually I've been wrestling back and forth with two teams, but I'll just stick with Indiana. I think Georgia Tech's my other team. I think is going to be very very good, sneaky good. I think they have the schedule to do it. At the end of the day, I think the only team in the ACC that's worth a crap is Clemson, and I think Miami's good too. I mean, outside of those two teams, those everybody else is kind of trash. So I think Georgia Tech could really go in and be a very good team. And their only loss, I think they only play Clemson. I don't even think they play Miami this year. I could be wrong, but if they do, I mean, those are their only losses. I see them losing. So, but Indiana's my team. I think can be very, very good. I love Fernando Mendoza. He can spin it. He can spin it. I love the addition with Roman Hembry from Maryland. He's a very good running back, very underrated running back. Elijah Surratt on the outside. I think Indiana can be a very, very good team this upcoming year. Would not be surprised if Surratt leads the Big Ten in receiving yards. So yeah, that is going to be a very, very good roster, good team this year. So Indiana's my dark horse.
Yeah,
I like it.
I agree
My
with
dark.
you, Amakai. Um, yeah, they got the quarterback and they got a great coach. And if it wasn't for a tough Big Ten schedule with just so many good teams, I would agree with you. I'll go next and I'll let Jay finish it up. I'll go ahead.
Yep, my dark horse. I've got Nebraska. I think Nebraska was a very competitive team last year. They had a lot of close games, a lot of one possession losses. And Raiola obviously is going to be a sophomore, so he's matured and he's a very good quarterback. Matt Rule wasn't a great coach in the NFL level, but he can coach a college team. So I definitely believe that he'll have those boys ready. I think Nebraska football will definitely be back. We saw flashes of it last year, and they will have a very good season.
Like it. Yeah, I think Nebraska understands they got to do a lot better than last year, and I think Raiola is going to be a dude, and he can carry teams on his back with his quarterback play. My dark horse is going to be the hometown Go Dogs. I got UW as my dark horse, and we talked about prove it years for coaches, and I think it's a prove it year for Jed Fish. He had the underwhelming year last year, especially after that loss to Wazoo, but it was also attributed to poor quarterback play. I think DeMond Williams is going to be a really great quarterback. There's some analysts even talking about him competing in the Heisman race. I think he will have a tremendous year. I love the receivers and Amari Evans, Denzel Boston, and a few more recruits that transferred from Arizona. Their linebackers will be legit. And what I like the most about their defense is their two cornerbacks, and Tacario Davis and Ephesians Prosaugs. I think they're going to be the best cornerback tandem in the nation. I think they'll be improved in the trenches as well from last year. And why I'm really high on this team is their 1-2 punch at running back. Jonah Coleman and Adam Muhammad. I think together they can run for 2,000. Jonah Coleman finished top 3 to those Penn State running backs this year with over 1,000 yards, and he's just a bruiser. He's explosive. He's agile, and he could be a top 3 running back in the country when it's all said and done. So I like what they're doing out there in UW, and I think they're going to surprise some people this year, especially when Ohio State comes to town week 5. So yeah, UW is going to be my dark horse this year.
I also would add really quick, they have a gauntlet of a schedule, like probably the worst schedule out there. But don't sleep on that boy John Mateer at Oklahoma. That kid can play. He's a really good quarterback.
Yeah, he can play. It's just their schedule, man.
Their schedule is like
If OU wins more than 7 games, it's a success. I'm sorry. Like you cannot even fire him. What's his name?
It's,
The committee did not.
Venables.
Venables. You can't
Yeah,
fire Venables after this year. Like you just can't.
it's rough, man. It's real
It's
rough. They've got
Michigan,
It's a toss up.
Michigan. They got
Texas.
Michigan, Texas, South Carolina. Listen, hold on a second. This is back to back in 5 weeks, middle of the season.
Just-
So bad.
Texas at South Carolina, Ole Miss at Tennessee, at Bama. In the middle of the season.
That's crazy, bro.
That's just no. Someone needs to get sued. Like who in the committee made that schedule? That's
Dude,
that
and
is
then
not fair.
that's not. And then you have that, and then you got
And
to
then
open
LSU at the end.
LSU at the end, and then you got Michigan week 2.
Yeah,
Not just
it's
LSU at the end.
terrible.
LSU on senior night.
The thing is, they know what they're doing, Jaden, because Oklahoma and Texas are rivals. Okay, Texas doesn't get Bama or LSU; they get a breeze of a schedule, and they give Oklahoma that.
That's
And it's
brutal.
gonna be rough.
You can't like
Like material.
if you win 7 games, that's a great year.
But that schedule, like between them and LSU, they got the 2 toughest schedules. Sorry, not LSU. Florida and Oklahoma have the 2 toughest schedules
Yeah,
in the
This is
nation.
by far the toughest. This is by far the toughest schedule.
yeah, I think it is.
It's brutal.
If
Yeah.
they sniff out 8 wins, Venables needs a raise. That's crazy. He needs a raise. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's been a pleasure, guys. I think we're ready to wrap it up. But
Absolutely.
we're coming back again next week with a bunch more games. We'll be talking about Ohio State, Texas, of course. We'll be talking about Utah, UCLA, LSU, and Clemson, and Auburn versus Baylor. So it's going to be fun. And yeah, I appreciate you guys joining us for our first video, and I hope you guys enjoy. So this is Magnum Ball Podcast signing off.